Baxi here, and I'm really excited to introduce to you my good friend, Michael Granam, who has a phenomenal place called Good Vibes in Palm Coast. And I was not sure what that place is all about. Good Vibes, what do you do? Well, now I have a lot better understanding of what Michael and his wonderful wife, Paula, does for the community. And I'll let him share more about that because he's a fantastic local entrepreneur who's always supporting small businesses. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. So, Michael, you have been in Palm Coast for a while, but you also have a business that you recently started about 4 years ago, roughly, in my opinion, if I'm correct. But you moved from Ohio to Palm Coast. So tell me a little bit about your journey in moving from, I think you moved from Ohio. Is that correct?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
tell me a little bit about being an employee. Were you an employee before? And what made you become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so when back in 2005, me and my wife chose to move down to Florida from Ohio. We had some friends of ours that had moved down from Maryland, and we were actually in business together. We were in the financial industry together, and in fact, Primerica Financial Services. And we had built a relationship with them while we were up in Ohio, and then we moved down to help them open up some offices down in this area. And I had actually come down in 2004 to visit with them and had a business meeting, fell in love with the area, went back home, told my wife, I said, listen, you got to see this area. It's absolutely beautiful. It's November, it's 70 degrees, it's sunny, everything is green. Got a chance to see the water and travel around Palm Coast. Absolutely fell in love with it. And I said, listen, what would you think about moving to Florida? So we talked for about 15 minutes, and we understood that was going to take leaving some family and so forth. But I always told my wife, no matter how many times you want to come back home to Ohio, you can certainly do that. So we made the move, made the jump. And so when I first moved down here, I was in the financial industry. But if you recall, back in 2005, which is when we moved, from 2005 to 2008 was pretty much the collapse, if you will, of the notorious financial collapse of 2008. So I put a lot of burden and stress, and ended up jumping out of that and went back into food service management.
And then why did you move back from being an employee to an entrepreneur? Tell me about that.
I went back into food service for a couple of years and realized I remembered why I got out of food service. Really crappy hours and for little pay. So I spoke to my brother. My brother had started a business in 2005, and him and his family had actually moved down to Palm Coast also at the same time. And he ended up starting an automotive repair business, a mobile auto repair business. And I sat down with him in 2011, and we talked, and we came up with this idea that we would take his concept and then just add to it. He had one vehicle that was running the road helping people, and we decided to set up a second one. So I would run one and he would run the other. And so we did amazing during a time when the economy was not the greatest, but everybody still needed their car worked on. And we were raised around cars, hot rods, things like that. So we knew a lot about working on cars and helping that way. So we did that. And then fast forward after 2011 to 2000, I decided, back up a little bit, in 2017, I ended up losing 100 pounds in 6 months. And I was at a point in my life, I was about 47 years old. I was having tightness in my chest. I was having night terrors. Just some bad things were going on. And I knew that it was health related, and I was almost 360 pounds, and I needed to get the weight off. And through a series of events, I got a chance to meet a couple that was friends with on Facebook, of all places, that were helping people lose weight, Zach and Emily Shapiro. And ended up meeting them, got started on an Herbalife nutrition program. I ended up losing 100 pounds 6 months, absolutely changed my life. I simply did the nutrition. I drank my gallon of water. I had a couple of healthy meals, a couple of healthy snacks. And in the beginning, all I did was go for a walk. But after doing that during a 6 month period of time, I had a lot of people that were reaching out to me, wanting to know if I could help them. And I really fell in love with the process of helping other people. And I always loved to help people in general, but I really couldn't figure out what exactly I could do to help people and be in business for myself, other than being in a financial industry that I really didn't want to go back into. And so I ended up helping people over about a year period of time while I was a mechanic. I had about 70 customers that I ended up working with, and we had a lot of great results. We had 3 or 4 people lose over 100 pounds in that year. We had 40 people lose over 50 pounds. Just phenomenal people getting phenomenal results. And so I fell in love with that whole process of doing that. And I got to a point where I had zero time. So I would work all day as a mechanic, get off 5:30. I would literally change like Superman and go see people at their houses, day in, day out, night after night, weekend, so forth. But I really loved doing it. It wasn't that I was very passionate about it, so that the time aspect didn't bother me, other than I couldn't see more people. So late 2019, God put this little seed in my head to open up, it's not my words, but a bar with no alcohol. And I had this concept come to me about this bar with no alcohol. And in our business, we call them nutrition clubs. So in late 2019, our oldest son had actually moved to moved to LA for a job. And then our youngest son, the following month, went into the Navy. Me and my wife got a little bit depressed during that period of time. And that's when I had mentioned the idea to my wife before about opening up this nutrition club. And she finally, after us a month or two of being depressed, she's like, why don't you just open up this business? You know, who knows where it leads? And if we have to, we'll eat ramen noodle and live in our car because we don't have to take care of our boys. So at the end of 2019, we sat down, we wrote out our goals, which we do every year, and we wrote down and we put them on our refrigerator. We wrote down that we were going to open this nutrition club by July of 2020. So July of 2020. But by January, the very first month, the very first day of 2020, I went to Ace Hardware, which is a business next to our business. And I came out and went to my car and I noticed a sign on the windows that said for rent. And I'd never noticed any other business in that plaza other than Ace Hardware. So I just decided to walk up to the window. I looked in, and everything in me said, this is the location. God doesn't speak to me, but he gives me thoughts, emotions, feelings, overwhelming. And I realized it was from God because it was good, it was positive, it was going to help people. But everything in me said, this is the location. So that I ended up within a short period of time, signed a contract on the location. We ended up working and building out in January and February. And we ended up opening up March 9th of 2020. Now, Minesh, if you recall what happened in early March of 2020, the virus hit. So we went from March 9th opening. We had a phenomenal day. We made like 104 healthy shakes. We did well over $1,000 in sales, which in our business is decent for a new open. And by that Tuesday, the next day, customers were coming in asking if I had heard that there was a virus, COVID thing going on. I hadn't heard anything because I was working. I was trying to get the business open, right? So by that night, Tuesday night, I came home and my wife said, did you hear about this virus? I said, yeah, the customers are telling me about it. What's going on? And she told me, and she said, are you nervous? And I said, I probably should be nervous, but God wouldn't have given me this vision if he didn't have provision to make it happen. And because it was a nonstop vision that he gave me day in, day out, at night, to wake me up at 2:30 every day in the morning, and we'd have this like vision download into my brain. And so I point out in my business a lot of the different things that were in that vision. There's some things that weren't in the vision, but there's things that definitely were in that vision. But by Wednesday morning, after that Monday that we opened up, I had gone into the business, and as we opened at 6 a.m., and I had this amazing conversation with God about the fact that he gave me the vision, he's going to give me the provision, and if it succeeds, I'm going to give him all the credit, and if it fails, I'm going to give him all the credit. It's plain and simple. I'm just there to work. I was there to be obedient and do what the vision that he gave me, which is the first time in my life that I had followed it to that extent. And so, now mind you, my wife kept her job. I had left my job with my brother. I was working with my brother, by the way, being a mechanic. But my wife kept her job, and within 6 months, and mind you, COVID's going on. Okay, within 6 months, we had produced enough income coming in from that business, and also I continue to help people outside the business with the nutrition. But we ended up replacing her income fully, so she could come on board and work with me full time and leave her job in the food service industry, which she was food service management, which is still management, but you're working crazy hours. Unfortunately, you're working with a lot of people that just don't care, whether it's managers or employees, so forth. But it was great to get a chance that opportunity to have her leave her job and work with me. And so to this day, 4.5 years later now, we have amazing customers that come in and see us every single day. We have amazing customers at home that use our nutrition, not only inside of our business, but at home have nutrition programs, whether they want to gain weight, lose weight, more energy, better digestive process, whatever they want to do, we have programs for that. But the fact is that we get to every day be in a positive, motivating atmosphere, and also harness an environment and be a center hub in Flagler County for people to be able to come in. They network with each other, they socialize with each other. We try to get people off their phones so they can interact with each other and get more back to what we were designed to do, which is serve each other and find out what I can do to help you and what you can do to help me. And so it's been an amazing journey. The last 4.5 years have flown by. During COVID, it did seem like it was going slow, but then when I look back now, everything went so fast. And so we're just blessed. I have people every day come in and ask how we're doing. I said, blessed and highly favored, because I have no rude customers. I don't know if you've ever been in a business where you have no rude customers. I've been in, I'm 52 years old. I've been in every industry, almost automotive industry, financial industry, food service industry, and now in the nutrition industry. And in my business, is the only business I've ever had. I've had 0 complaints in 4.5 years. I have 0 reviews, knock on wood, okay? But maybe it's the name of the business. Maybe the people feel the presence of God when they come inside. I joke around with people all the time. Like, if there's something wrong, we'll listen to you, but leave your crap outside the door, and then you can certainly pick it up on the way out. But if you feel better on the way out, then just leave the crap there, leave it outside. So we're absolutely blessed.
Wow, what a story, Michael. And obviously, I've gotten to know you personally very well. And you have a great location. It's like the Cheers show where everybody knows your name kind of place, right? So you know everybody's name. You introduce people when they walk in. You make the place like a welcoming place for everybody, specifically small business owners. And I think partly because you yourself understand the challenges of being a business owner as well. So tell us where your location is. How can people get hold of you?
So we're in St. Joe Plaza in Palm Coast. It's 209 St. Joe Plaza. It's right next to Ace Hardware, if you're familiar with Palm Coast. But if you just look it up, Good Vibes Nutrition, Palm Coast, it's going to pop up. It's going to direct you right there. I always give everybody my cell phone number, 386-503-4275. If you need to text me, if you need to call me, if you need to message me, you need to get a hold of me, you need to ask me a question, you need to pray about something. If there's anything that you need, we're very big into not only introducing people to each other in the community. I don't care if you're in business for yourself, I just like for people to know each other. I like the hum of interaction and people getting to know each other and things happening. So we also do a lot of workouts, free workouts. So you can, look us up and ask questions about that. But we do 3 community free workouts a week, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Saturday morning. We have walking clubs. I have what's called coaches that are part of our organization that are an extension of Good Vibes that also help people in the community. So they're running different workouts, boxing events, walking clubs. We're also big into charity. We support a local charity called Live Like Cameron. And we want to make sure that the children in Flagler County that have cancer, which there's approximately 30 children right now that have cancer. We want to make sure that those children are taken care of. And so that's our personal charity to support, to raise money for. They have an event coming up in September. It's a 5K over at Town Center. So we highly encourage people to get involved with that. We also just started a Kingdom Men's United a couple months ago. We created that with J.R. Meyer. We got together, put our heads together, and we wanted to come up with something where men got together, not in a necessarily, there's nothing wrong with men getting together at church, but something that's just kind of a neutral environment where men can come together, share stories, share experiences, pray for each other. Women are really good at getting together, and men not so much. Guys typically, if they do get together, there's beer involved, stripper poles involved, stuff like that.
We don't need that. So thank you,
Not,
Michael. I really know you are doing a great job for the community, both in terms of business, health related, and obviously you are a big proponent of following the Lord Jesus Christ. So I appreciate that in all the activities, you are being a big hub for the community. So I look forward to stopping by, seeing you shortly. I have some ideas that you and I can partner up in. I will talk to you separately about that. But Michael, thanks so much for taking the time today.
yes, you're welcome. Thank you.